Good Wednesday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We begin another glorious December day, isn't it? 70 right now as we wait for a high. Get this, it's going to be warm, 79 degrees to the south of the Meridian area. Be careful. We got a lot of fog moving into the area, and this could hang around until about 9 o'clock today. So we want to make sure that you're well aware of that. Let's go over and take a look at radar this morning as we pull this up to take a look at where all this is. Again, it's due south of us, down around Hattiesburg as we go to Meridian Honda radar this morning. Due south these areas here, but all along the coasts. Look at that. Now, north of this area, as you get into North Mississippi, we have thunderstorms this morning moving across the Grenada area up to Clarksdale if you're going to be headed to Memphis for any reason today. A lot of rain in that area right now. As we back out, fog just covering the southern portion of the United States all the way through Georgia up to the Carolinas, following that coastline this morning. So be careful if you've got to travel in any of those directions. Make sure to join us back at 8 o'clock this morning. Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun will be with us. He'll talk about his big announcement that he's made this week. See what all he has to say about that. Plus, we'll talk about several other events that have gone on in the area. We certainly hope you'll be back to join us for that. Let's go out to Collinsville now. Let's see what Brother Ben, what kind of good word he has for us this morning.
Critics of Christianity claim that real men have a hard time connecting to the church. It's too effeminate, it's too introspective, it's too touchy-feely, they say. But we see real men all over the Bible, and John the Baptist was one of them. Speaking about John, Jesus basically said in Matthew 11, "You didn't come to see some soft, preppy dude in fancy clothes, did you? Surely you didn't come to see some wimp sitting around in a king's house. No, you came to see a real man of God," and that's exactly what John was. He was a real man, but he was also a man of God. Yeah, these two ideas can go together. Real men can be men of God. In fact, the realest men follow and serve King Jesus. As John the Baptist rose up and declared Jesus the Savior of the world, men, I'm calling you to rise up and do the same. And when men rise up in Jesus' name, this community will change. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. The change does begin with you, doesn't it? Big thank you to Brother Ben this morning for the good word. Let's see, as we said, we've got Ward coming up this morning. We'll tell you about the Christmas parade that is coming to Collinsville this weekend. Also, that's going to be happening on Saturday night. Also, they'll be having the Christmas parade in downtown Meridian also this weekend. So a lot of parades. Quitman's already had theirs. Philadelphia's had theirs as they come across. Can y'all believe this being December? I'm looking at December the 7th. Never forget, as we just posted a few moments ago about what today was and what happened so many years ago in 1941. The cost of freedom is definitely not free. Those who come before us have sacrificed for us to be where we are today. Well, let's get into some headlines and things that are going on in the area, things that are shaping the area as we wake up. He's been busy. Well, it's warm weather. Well, I guess we should have expected this as we go to North Hill Street this morning as Naked Man went out for another stroll this morning. Second December appearance that I'm aware of. Now, there could have been more, but that's the two that I'm aware of. So he's back on the prowl, so to speak. Not caught or anything, just out for a walk. We did have an accident near North Hills last night. Traffic was backed up quite a bit there as people were lined up as this came across, trying to get into North Hills area there, Poplar Springs Drive, that area there. Also, I went down, and I hope you had a chance to see that. It was a beautiful ceremony there as the Christmas tree lighting happened in Meridian last night. A lot of people turned out for that big event as the tree was lit. It went up bright. It was just pretty. Hope you had a chance to see all of that last night. Here's a still picture from that. As everybody watched that Dumont Plaza. Oh, no, that was not Dumont Plaza. City Hall lawn is where that was. It was pretty. Had a bunch of singing. Also, the dancers from Carol Merrill, they did a wonderful job. Hope you did get a chance to see that. Always good to get together and enjoy ourselves this time of year. Truly is. We also had an accident yesterday on 7th Street. This would be just off of 8th Street here as we pull up the map here. Injuries possibly involved with that as Metro arrived to the scene to help the folks as we look at that. Church's Chicken sits here. It would be due south of there on 7th Street where that took place. We had several of those occur across the Meridian area yesterday, as we also had another wreck there at Bonita Drive at Highway 19 South. Metro would come to that one also. It's one of those, keep this in mind also, with wrecks as paramedics arrive at these and things can be sometimes worse than others. Always make sure that your kids are buckled in. We've had a couple of accidents where kids were not. You never know when an accident will happen, will occur, and we don't want any children hurt this time of year. So make sure you do that before you drop it and drive. Make sure that that's secure and they're all well before you head out. Speaking of kids, there's a fellow they like, and this is going to be happening. The city of Meridian invites you down. Photos will be taken Saturday with Santa from 1 until 5 there at City Hall. If you hadn't met old St. Nick this year, come on down. That should be a lot of fun. Hope you'll take advantage of that and visit with Santa while he's in town. Busy fellow over the next few weeks, isn't he? He will be. As we go to different parts of the state of Mississippi of things that have gone on over the last 24 hours or so, we go to Mendenhall. All up to date on this? 16-year-old arrested at the high school. Started out as an argument. One thing led to a scuffle. The next thing you know, 2 girls were in the bathroom. One was stabbed multiple times. Where are we headed? That was Mendenhall where that happened. I think she's going to be okay, but still the horrible thing to happen at school. Can you imagine getting that call from a school about your child being injured? I don't think anybody would like that. Pearl River County, Mississippi, due south of here, as we start looking at headlines on this. I'm sure that most people are aware by now that a body was found in a box. Dismembered. There's no other way to word this nicely, and it's not. They're crediting social media and tattoos for identifying the victim. The coroner has identified it as a 24-year-old from Poplarville, Mississippi. Seth Odom is who was found. We don't know why or what. That's some of the headlines across the state of Mississippi this morning. That's a bad one. That is just why anybody would do that. Very serious crime there. We also go to Panola County, Mississippi. This is 7 months ago that this occurred, but it's just now coming to light as we see that a husband and wife team, a couple, have been arrested. They've been arrested in the death of their infant son. The charge reads capital murder. Now, the families say that they're not guilty. Again, this just charged. You're not, till you stand before the judge, you're not found guilty, but police apparently found enough evidence that they felt that it was neglect in some way. We'll find out when this reaches court. Family says they didn't realize that the police were there to arrest, and they did. On your Christmas, we certainly hope that didn't happen. But again, we're innocent until proven guilty. We'll find out what happens with that. As we go to the South Mississippi Metro Enforcement Team, what does that mean to you? Well, that's some cops is what that is. It's officers from Jackson County, the Pascagoula area, Ocean Springs, Moss Point, that area there. Kind of a task force. One of the law enforcement officials have been fired after drug money came up missing. Whoops. The money's been returned, but expect charges to come. Bad when it's within that stealing happens, isn't it? It is. We'll find out more about that. Jasper County, Jones County, rather, let me back up there. They're seeking a subject that's connected with a shooting. We go to our friends over at Dark Horse Press to show you a picture of who they're looking for. Let me pull this up here from our friends there. And this is what we've got. This is the gentleman that they are looking for. If you happen to see him, contact the police. And again, this is Jones County. They're seeking the whereabouts of Stephen Shane Poole, a.k.a. known as Cornbread. It's not the cornbread we know in the Meridian area. I just want to point that out. It's another one. Our Cornbread is a calm, cool fellow there, not wanted by the law. This gentleman is 45 years old. He's a prime suspect in a shooting that happened Saturday. So if you happen to know him, contact the Jones County Sheriff's Department. Pretty big deal down there. They had a wreck yesterday in Jones County. And as we talk about seatbelts, it could save your life. We had a driver that was ejected from a vehicle in a wreck. It happened in the blink of an eye. Somebody pulls out in front of you. It's more or less like hitting a brick wall. Anybody ever been involved in an accident where livestock? It is. We don't want you hurt. That's why we say all of this. Be careful and buckle up at all times when you head out. This is just horrible. A Mississippi man has been arrested. We go to North Mississippi. We barely cross over the Tennessee line as we roll into Memphis. A Mississippi man was visiting there. Him and another man entered a Walgreens with a gun. 2 employees were there. They pulled guns. They would rape one of the employees in the bathroom at gunpoint. He's been arrested. Hopefully they'll throw away the key. Again, you're innocent until proven guilty, but video evidence is pretty strong in this case. Again, one of those instances where somebody's trying to make a living and you have somebody like that show up with a gun and do something to that effect. Bad. We warn you about this as we go to our next story that has happened. This was the northeast portion of Mississippi. As we go northward here, Corinth. I think we've all heard of that. Somebody had a gun for sale. They met someone. They advertised it on social media. They met somebody to sell it. They were robbed at gunpoint. Know where you're going. Make sure that it is absolutely well lit. They even have an area, I think, down there, the Meridian Police Department, there in the parking lot that you could meet up. Good place if you don't know someone. Make sure everything's legit. Do it around others. Never do that on the rural route if you don't know them. It's not worth your life, is it? No, it's not. As we talk about people that go above and beyond to break the law and do things wrong, what happens when security goes awry? Is that the word I'm looking for? They do something they shouldn't? He was working at Walmart security. Over the course of several months, $5,500 has come up missing as they make an arrest on this. They did this in Hattiesburg. Ongoing grand larceny as they kept investigating this where the money was going. A 59-year-old David Trigg of Petal was taken into custody. We'll learn more about that as that court case will head to court. Dark Horse Press passes along that. They've been following that. We also see that as we go back to Tupelo, Mississippi, the northern portion of the state, due north of Highway 45 from the Meridian area, a 68-year-old man has been denied bond in the case of yet another sexual battery on a minor, molestation. 68 years old. One should be ashamed. Arrested and denied bond. He'll sit there until this case comes before the grand jury. We'll find out more. That tells you that there's a history of something going on there. Natchez, Mississippi. Let's go southwest of Meridian, Mississippi as we head over right there at that Louisiana line as we see that, well, they've made an arrest. Somebody burned a car. Turned out being arson. Never, ever do that. Fire marshals really don't like that. A good ending to a horrible story as we go to west of here as we go over toward Madison, Mississippi. Everybody knows where that beautiful town in Mississippi, Madison. A few months back, they made a traffic stop inside this. And I remember covering this story. Once they made that traffic stop, they found 11 dogs in a van. It was believed at the time that they really thought this was some form of dog fighting. I think they were right. They've seized the dogs, and now they're up for adoption. If you're looking for a pup that was headed for a bad situation, they've got that at the pound over there to where people now can adopt. We do hope that all those pups are taken care of. Just downright mean, isn't it? Well, if you're looking at national headlines this morning, well, this will be out of the headlines for quite a while now. Coming to an end finally as Georgia finds out that Herschel Walker will not be the representative. He was beat last night in that runoff. Senator Ralph Warnock wins, which gives the Democrats control of the Senate. That's how that went down in Georgia last night. Now, there was a lot of things, and many of you maybe didn't get to see it. That's the end result of what we found out. Police were called as we're starting to know this, and we send prayers. Senator Ted Cruz, as cops and officials ended up being there, emergency officials, and the way they worded it was there was a 14-year-old girl in the home that had self-inflicted knife marks. Ted Cruz says it's a family matter, and he's thankful that his daughter is okay. That's all we really know at this point. That's got to be tough there. We don't know what others are going through. We talked about that yesterday morning with Brother Mike, if you were listening, about suicide and suicide attempts. We certainly hope everything's going to be okay there. And we keep Senator Ted Cruz and his family in our thoughts here at Christmas. As research continues, we do hope one day there will be a cure for cancer. There's no telling how many people that it has taken worldwide. Researchers are starting to say that maybe potatoes is a key to some ingredient that would help save people from cancer. It'd be less side effects. Now, I'm not a scientist. I don't quite understand all of that, but I hope they're right. We see this. I remember my great-grandparents, they were married, I could be wrong on the exact year, but I know it was somewhere around 79 or 80 years, somewhere right along in there. Charlie Callahan, if any of y'all remember him. But we see this as an Ohio couple were married 79 years, and they died just hours apart. So they never had an argument. Kind of sweet, isn't it? I don't fit into that part of never an argument. It's tough to live with sometimes, y'all. She always thinks she's right. I've got 32 under my belt, and what was that song Stonewall Jackson had, and still got life to go? It's all right. But isn't that wonderful? 79 years. And it is amazing how couples, because you become more than just two people, you become one, that one passes, that the other fades away not soon after it. But it is their heartthrob. They work together. We think about them. We're also seeing on a nationwide level, we didn't know much more about this, Rod Stewart. Y'all remember him? Maggie May, Wake Up Maggie. I got something to say to you. His 11-year-old son was rushed to the hospital not long ago, which they're saying could have been a heart problem at 11 years old. I think he's okay now. He collapsed at a football game. He was rushed to the hospital. 11 years old is mighty young to be having heart problems. That's Rod Stewart's child. How old is Rod? 11 years old. Okay, I'll leave the mathematics alone, but he's got a young son there, doesn't he? Moral of the ways we begin your bright and early. Can y'all believe this? Wednesday already. Good morning to you. We'll be right back.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. Cuties or halos, a 3-pound bag for $6.99. Yellow or zucchini squash, $1.79 a pound. Skippy peanut butter, only $2.69. Red or white onions, 99 cents a pound. Brine wieners, a 12-ounce package, $1.89. Fresh leg quarters, a 10-pound bag, $4.99. And assorted pork chops, $1.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
And welcome back as we begin this Wednesday. Let's go back to radar and take a look at this for those of you who joined us a little bit late there when we started. Let's show you what's going on radar. And again, to the south of us is going to be all of the fog that we've got showing up this morning as we go to Meridian Honda radar. This goes all the way following from Texas, Beaumont, Galveston, along that coastline through Lafayette, Baton Rouge, through Houma, Louisiana, down to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and just continues all across the south, going up that eastern coast there. Now, we do have showers that are showing this morning north of us, as we'll go here just northwest of Kosciuszko when we get near Vaden, Greenwood, those areas, Winona. Heavier rain as you get near Oxford, Mississippi. If you're going to be in Ole Miss country this morning, Ripley, Holly Springs, Pontotoc, Mississippi, those areas do have some light showers, and we urge you to be careful there. The further north you go, the more you're going to get into all of this here. And east of Knoxville, Tennessee, those areas, a lot of rain this morning. If you're traveling out of the state, be careful most of all. All right, let's get into our forecast and find out what we have going on today. Get more specific.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs, record lows as we go back to 98. It was a record high of 84. We'll get kind of close to that today. Our high expected to be roughly 79 as we go to our record low, 1938. 15 degrees on this date. There's a few folks around that still remember that. 15, that was a cold one. As we look to that forecast for today, what's going to happen? Well, clouds in the Meridian area for the most part. We could see some sunshine peeking out later as we go north with a high of 79. As you get up near Columbus, Mississippi State, about 75, and the chances of rain showers in that area. And the further north, as we were just looking at radar, the more rain you'll have. Now, to the south, as you get near Hattiesburg, warmer, 81. Even over in Natchez, about 81 today. Looks great. Let's go east. Let's look into Alabama and see what a bird's eye view is. That Demopolis, Livingston, about 79 today. Cooler at Auburn as you go over to Tiger Country. And northern Alabama, 71. Hamilton and even Gadsden. As we look south there, Montgomery will come in the same as Meridian. About 79 is what we're looking at. As we look at this, now, this dense fog, it can slip in. We're not showing it on radar yet, but there are low-lying areas that most likely already have this morning. The Meridian area, and that's going to be just north of Meridian Community College on the outline of 495 in those areas there, along Lost Gap area and southward through most of Clark County could be involved in this, Jasper and portions of Newton County, but all the way south to the coast, y'all be careful. And again, that will run through about 9 a.m., half mile, quarter mile, depends upon where you are of your visibility and what you can see. Y'all watch out in Alabama. It's just as thick there as you look on this side of that. As we look to our hot forecast, look at that. It's warm. This is what we're seeing over the next 6 to 10 days as you'll eventually see this cooler weather, hopefully making it by Christmas. Let's hope so. A little cooler weather there. Here's our 7-day outlook as we go to Wilson Saw and Outdoor Power for that. 79 today. Tonight's low about 59. Not bad at all. Tomorrow, not quite as warm. Okay, it's still hot. 76 tomorrow. 0% chance of rain as we go toward the weekend, ending everything on Friday with a high of 75. As we get into Saturday, 71. And then we start seeing these rain chances next week. 66 with a 50% chance of rain. Holding steady in those upper 60s, but 50% chance of rain each day. We'll watch that forecast very carefully there. Now, as we move in, it will be December the 15th that we start seeing that change in the weather. We're going to drop down to, roughly about 53 for high. Look at the 16th of December, 51. You'll need a jacket that day. And again, the shortest day of the year as we get into December the 21st, 54. Some rain shower chances in there. Nighttime lows of 37. Again, not low enough to have any problems, but still cool. We'll watch all of that. Now, there has been a disturbance out on the in the Atlantic as we look at possible storms that are happening. It's moving away from the coastline of America. Nothing to worry about there. Let me double check this morning to make sure something didn't change on that, and I'm not aware of it. And I'd hate to be telling a fib. It changed overnight, and I didn't know it. Let me hit a button here and go back to the National Hurricane Center and take a look at what we have. Again, this is definitely moving away. Let's look at the National Hurricane Site Center this morning. Let me flip a button back and show you this. There was a lot of talk about this. This is moving away from us, not going to affect the states. So nothing to worry about there as you look at that next 5 days. A 50% chance of that turning into something. But again, moving away from us. It won't affect us. That's the good news to that little story. Like it when it's that way. Doesn't bother us a bit. All right, what's happening today with the fishing as we go to Chet's Paint and Body? It all happens on December the 7th. Get ready. 7 o'clock is the best time to start through about 9 this morning. If you've got a line, you've got a pole, it's a great time to go. That's the best today. Southwest wind 5 to 10, gusts of about 20. As you rate the day, it's not the best day that you could be fishing. Okay, they're rated as a poor day. We'll go ahead and tell you that. As we look at December the 7th of deer hunting times, it just is not all that great either. Your major time that you could be there is about 1 o'clock this afternoon till about 3. So an early afternoon hunt is the best time to hit that if you're going to be out deer hunting today. Hopefully you enjoy yourself there, get to do that. That's a quick look at that. Now, keep in mind, as we're in the middle of December, our severe weather threat is not over. We always have 2 rounds of tornadic season. One is late November into December, and then in the springtime we'll have more. Make sure to have a weather plan. Always be ready. We have nothing that's forecasted that's going to be bad. We just warn you because these storms are always ferocious, and we want you to be safe. We stay on it. That's what we do here, is track the weather when it happens. No matter the day or time or when it is in the middle of the night, we're there for you. Always check with us when the weather turns bad. We'll be here for you. And we do appreciate all the support of all that. Jerome Lee, remembering Pearl Harbor, which we are. We definitely do that. Vicki Stewart, good morning to you. Kathy Sharp is up. Well, I see a lot of you. Maria, she was reminding everybody about coming out to the Evangel Temple this weekend to hear their speaker. He'll be there Sunday morning about 10:30. If you got a chance to see yesterday's show, you'll enjoy that. Now, we'll be back on television this morning, today and tomorrow. Next week, things will level out and go back to normal. Soccer will finally be over. Really, there's folks worldwide, they tell me, that like that. It's just not as big in our area. There's a few, but it's not like football and baseball. It's a network thing. We'll talk more about it when we go live this morning. Candace is getting her makeup ready. She'll be here in just a little while. Again, we urge you to tune in this morning, beginning at 8 o'clock, as Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun will be here to tell us more about his announcement and what he plans, and some crime and things that are going on in the area. Straight from the man, it'll all happen at 8 a.m. right here. Come back and join us, won't you? I do appreciate you. We'll see you soon from the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: